Oh, Tiffany, are you there? I just wanted to say thanks again for all that you're doing. I really, really appreciate you letting me stay with you. Thanks.
Sorry, you're coming to stay with me? What are you talking about? I don't remember talking about this ever.
Well, you know how I'm trying to study so that I can go to law school, right? Well, I just can't study at all living with my parents, so I realized that I need a new place to go where I'll be able to concentrate. So I asked my mom about where she thought I should go, and she told me about how Chris was going away on a business trip. So I figured that since you would have the space for me without my brother there, that I could move in.
Okay, hold on just a second there, Carly. Yes, it is true that Chris is away on a long business trip. But I don't get why you have to move all the way over here just to study. I mean, you're not even in law school yet, right?
Well, yeah, but the law schools I want to go to are around where you live in New York. So I figure I might as well start getting used to living up there. And then once I finish taking the LSATs, I can just move all my things right into the school. Isn't that great?
Look, Carly, I really want to help you in whatever way I can. But I just don't think this is the way to go about doing this. Besides, I would have to talk to Chris about this first.
So you're going to tell me that you want to help me any way that you can, but then refuse to help me? And I don't get why you would have to go and ask my brother. Of course he would approve of this. You shouldn't even bother asking him. I already know the answer he'd give anyways. That's why I'm on my way to your place right now.
Hold on a second. You're already on your way here, but I haven't even said yes. This is the first that we're talking about this.
I know, but the date for the LSATs are coming up, and I've already registered to take them in New York. So once I move in, I am going to be really busy studying.
But Carly, I'm sorry. This is just all so sudden, and I don't think I can approve of this.
What are you talking about? Why are you being such a stick in the mud about this? I mean, you're just a housewife who isn't really doing anything anyways, right? So since your husband is away, I can take his place and you can take care of me, right?
You really expect me to be taking care of you while you're away? You can't be serious.
Thank you so much. So just a heads up, every morning for breakfast, I would like to have a smoothie with fresh fruit. Then I want you to keep lunch light for me since I like to have naps in the afternoon. But make sure that you make something with things that are good for your brain for dinner, since that's when I'm going to be doing most of my studying. And I also want you to keep your place well stocked with lots of snacks.
Are you seriously telling me that you want me to cook 3 meals a day for you?
And on top of all that, you really want me to bring snacks to you as well? Why are you acting as if that's a big deal? You're a housewife. All you do is cook anyways, right? Besides, I'm going to be a lawyer one day, so I think that it would be best to help me when I need it or stay on my good side, you know?
Hold on a second. Let me guess. Next, you're going to tell me that in addition to cooking for you, I'm also going to have to do the laundry and all the cleaning too, right?
Well, duh, I'm going to be busy studying all day, so you need to be taking care of all that kind of work. I'll basically just leave it all to you while I hit the books.
I don't even know what to say to that. Do you really think that you can just live here and have me do everything to take care of you? What are you going to contribute in terms of rent? Are you at least going to help with the bills while you're here?
Whoa, what? What kind of way is that to talk to family? Here I am humbly asking for a little help from you, and you're telling me that you won't unless I cough up some money? Do you not want me to go to school? Do you not want me to follow my dreams of being a lawyer? Because law school isn't cheap, and I have to save money everywhere that I can.
Are you kidding me? Is that really the best that you can come up with?
Anyways, like I said, I'm already on the way over to your place right now. And just remember that whether or not I succeed at this is riding entirely on you. So make sure you do a good job of being there for me.
Hey Tiff, you there? I'm so sorry for not getting back to you yesterday. I was just so crazy busy and I'm only checking my phone right now. So did Carly really end up coming to our place?
She did. She arrived late last night, and I couldn't believe it. Now she's treating our place just like she owns it or something. It's just ridiculous.
Well, I can't believe that she's actually doing this.
So I take that means you also had no idea that she was going to pull something like this?
I had no idea that this was going to happen at all until I saw your messages that you'd sent me. And then there was just one message from Carly telling me that she was going to be using my office.
So she did tell you something?
Kind of. I tried to respond and ask her what she meant, but she just left me on read and never responded to me. I had no idea what she was talking about, and I certainly didn't think she was going to go this far.
I know, right? It's like, what is she thinking doing this?
Well, I talked to my parents, and they filled me in a little more about what was going on. I guess that Carly wasn't making any progress on moving out or finding any work, besides the part-time job that she already had. Then all of a sudden, she started talking about wanting to become a lawyer. My parents think it's because she's been really into this lawyer show, and that's the only reason she's acting this way.
Well, I think it's fine to have ambition and want to pursue a challenging goal. But didn't your sister drop out of community college? Because, no offense to her, but I think the LSAT is supposed to be quite challenging, and I think you're supposed to have at least a bachelor's before starting a law program anyways.
So then you really think that she came to our house to try and study for the test? Because I really wonder if she's actually studying for it at all. Yeah, not only that, but I hear that for some of the schools she's talked about wanting to go to, that she'll have to get a really high score.
And you're telling me that you don't think she's going to be able to make the cut for that?
From what I was reading, these schools only take the cream of the crop. But I guess that Carly must be really confident in herself. I guess there's still about 6 months before the tests are held, but does that mean that she's really going to just keep living with us until then?
Hold on a second, the LSATs aren't for another 6 months? I was prepared to put up with Carly for maybe about a month or so, but she can't stay with us for 6 months. Especially if she's expecting me to act like her maid. Did you know she wants me to cook all her meals and do her laundry for her?
Oh, she really gets too carried away sometimes. I just have no idea what she's thinking. But I think you should try and throw her out. I would help if I could, but I certainly don't want her touching any of my stuff.
Well, unfortunately, I think that is much easier said than done.
But she can't just squat at our house if we don't want her there. Doesn't she realise that?
Actually, you know what? I think it's great that Carly is chasing her dreams like this. Maybe we should give her some credit and support her through this. And I think it'd be fine if she uses your office as her bedroom. At least that way we can keep our room clean. You do want to support your sister, don't you?
Well, of course I want to, but are you really sure about this? I didn't even think that you were much of a fan of Carly to begin with.
Well, it's only for 6 months, right? And as long as Carly actually studies during that time, then you and I might end up with a lawyer we can count on.
I guess that's true, yeah. And if she managed to get a job, I know it'd make my parents really happy.
Great, then it's settled. And this works for me since I was starting to get lonely without anyone to talk to since you left.
Wow, well, okay. That's great. I can talk to my parents about this and maybe convince them to pitch in and help you out some. How does about $500 a month sound?
Oh, I think that would be plenty for me. Thank you very much. Now, let's get your sister through law school. Carly, can you please let me back in the house? I still don't even understand why you would have thrown me out in the first place.
Because I have my test in 3 days, don't you get it? How am I supposed to concentrate knowing that you're in the house with a fever? I had no choice but to throw you out.
And just what is that supposed to mean?
I mean that if I got your cold, then I might have to miss my test. Then I would have wasted all the effort that I've been putting into studying for the past month. That's why, until I'm done with the test, you are not allowed back in, so don't come back until you're better.
So then you're really just going to kick me out of the house while I have this high fever? Do you have any idea how cold it is out here? The least you could do is let me pack a bag.
You really are a useless woman. Do you know that? How dare you not realize that you're only getting in the way of your amazing sister-in-law trying to achieve her dreams? Don't even talk to me. I can't believe that you would get a cold like this just so that you could try and sabotage me. It's like you really want me to fail at everything.
Carly, you don't really believe that, do you? Of course I don't want you to fail, but I just got a bit of a cold is all.
You really think I'm going to buy an excuse like that?
It's not an excuse. I was feeling sick yesterday, and you had no problem talking with me and telling me to go to the store for you. In fact, because it was raining all day yesterday when I went out, I think that's why I'm feeling so sick.
Well, it's because I needed you to go out and buy the ingredients for my good luck meal. Ever since I was in high school, I would always eat a lot of foods that start with A so that I would get that grade.
But you shoved me out of the house so quickly yesterday that I couldn't even grab an umbrella. By the time I got back, I was completely soaked. But I've been doing my best to stay out of your way and make sure that you have everything you need to study. So I don't get why I'm being kicked out of the house this time.
For the last time, you are being kicked out so that this house doesn't become a petri dish and so I don't get sick.
Is this really the way that you're thanking me after all that I've done for you? After all the cooking and cleaning and support that I've given you? I can't believe that this is the way that you're paying back the person who let you live in their home free for 6 whole months. Do you have any idea just how much of my own money I've sunk into you, Carly? But I thought it would be okay as long as I was helping you study.
Oh, just shut up already, would you? Quit sending me all these sobby, sad texts. If you really wanted to help me pass my test, then you would never have gotten sick in the first place. If you still want to help me, then you can just sit there and shut up.
So you really expect me to just sit outside my own house for 3 days with a fever like this? Is this any way for someone who wants to be a lawyer to treat people? Is this the way lawyers treat the people who helped them get to where they are?
Oh, don't worry. You'll be getting plenty of gratitude as soon as I'm actually a lawyer. Because once I am, I'll be making millions of dollars. Maybe I'll even kick some back your way for all that you've been doing for me. But if you want that to happen, then you better leave me alone so that I can pass.
I don't care about the money, Carly. That was never what this was about. I just thought that you would have a little more gratitude after all this time.
Look, you are keeping me from studying. What was the point of kicking you out if you still won't leave me alone? Just go away and don't come back until you're feeling better, got it?
You better watch how you talk to my wife, Carly.
Wait, what? Are you delirious or something? Has your fever gotten that bad?
I want to know just what you think you're doing right now. Ask this. Because you got some real nerve kicking my wife out of our house after all she's been doing for you. You do realise that the person who's been taking care of you for the past 6 months is sick, right? Or do you just not care?
Wait, sis, your wife, is this Chris? But I thought that you were away on your business trip, right?
I was away, yeah, and now I've come back. I actually requested to come back early so that I could try and make it for you when you took the LSAT. I wanted to let you know that you had more support than you knew.
Wait a second. You mean that you came home early just to cheer me on for my test?
That was the plan. But now that I come to this, I don't know what to think. What I do know is that you have a family member who is sick and you've literally thrown them out of the house. What kind of person does that, huh?
But you don't understand. I'm going to be taking my test in 3 days. I wasn't about to let myself catch a cold from Tiffany. I'm just trying to keep her away until I've safely taken it is all.
If that's what you're worried about, why not just ask Tiffany to stay in her room and rest? This is our house after all. You were the one that showed up here uninvited. In fact, it was Tiffany who finally came around on letting you stay as long as you have.
Well, That's nice of her, but still, it doesn't change the facts.
The facts are that you've been taking advantage of my wife's kindness for your own gain. And now, you've gone too far. Who do you think you are, kicking your own host out of their home?
But I didn't have any money to stay anywhere else. What was I supposed to do?
I don't care what you do or where you go. You can go study under a bridge for all I care. Your test is only in 3 days. Surely you're not going to forget all that you've studied if I kick you out now, right?
Kick me out? You wouldn't really do that, right? Not after I've come so close to finally taking the test. The whole reason I came here in the first place.
I don't care about your test at all right now, Carly.
Please, you're scaring me. Why are you acting like this?
Why are you acting like this, Carly? Don't you get how wrong this is? You've let this get way out of hand, and I hope you do fail for all the horrible things you've done up to now. But especially for taking advantage of my wife like this. How dare you use her kindness just to throw her out like this?
Please, I never would have done that if I knew you were going to get so upset. I guess I just lost sight of what was really important. I just didn't want to catch a cold so close to my test is all. You can understand that, right? You can't blame me for that.
Hey, Carly, how'd the test end up going for you? I just wanted to let you know that my fever went down and I'm feeling better.
The test was horrible. It was the worst that I've ever done, and when I fail, it'll be all your fault.
But how can you know that when the test just ended right now?
I don't need to wait for the results. I already know that I failed. You've made me waste a whole year of my life. Do you know that? A whole year!
And why don't you think you need to wait for the results? What makes you think you didn't pass?
Because I couldn't even get in to take the test. I forgot my entrance slip and I didn't have a spare downloaded on my phone. They didn't even let me take the test.
You forgot your entrance pass? Well, how did you do that?
You know how it happened. When Chris came home, he burst into the house and started yelling at me to pack up my bags and leave. I was so scared and in such a rush that I must have left that pass behind in Chris's office somewhere. That's why this is all your fault. This would have never happened if you hadn't caught that stupid cold.
Well, it sounds to me like you're just looking for everyone but yourself to blame for this, but at least you'll always be able to take it again next year.
You mean that you'll let me come back to your place to study again next year?
No. That is not what I said. I never want you setting foot in my house again, and neither does Chris, for that matter.
But then how am I supposed to study for the test? Where am I supposed to live? Who's going to cook for me?
I think those are all issues that you'll have to figure out yourself. I gave you much more help than you deserved, and you spit it all back in my face. Well, I am certainly not going to make that mistake again.
Please, I'm sorry. I won't ever act that way again. I'm so sorry, Tiffany.
After that, Carly was unsure of who to turn to and fled back to her parents' house. But since she left, her parents had changed the locks on the door and refused to let her in. Realizing she had no one but herself who she could rely on, Carly found a job and a small, cheap apartment where she could still study to pursue her dream of being the next big pop star. Even though she's already in her late 20s, Carly was inspired by her experience studying for the LSAT. She was sure that she could do anything if she set her mind to it. She even started a few social media pages to try and promote herself, and, well, they're going about as well as you would expect them to. But who knows, maybe one day she'll prove everyone wrong and be the next big thing.
Hey, are you Brian's wife? Because I just wanted to let you know that I'm going to be taking care of him from now on. But you know that he's always such a wishy-washy guy, so I really hope that you don't blame him. Don't worry though, I'll make sure to make him very, very happy. Sorry, who am I speaking to right now? I have no idea what you're talking about. Oh, Oh, right. I should have introduced myself first. I'm Brian's ex-girlfriend, Miranda. I'm also the person who he's dated the longest out of all the other girls he's known. I'm sure you've heard about me already. Your name is Miranda. I'm sorry to tell you this, but I can't remember Brian ever mentioning knowing a girl like you. Wait, what? You mean that Brian hasn't even mentioned me once? Well, that's still no problem. Maybe he just didn't want you hearing about how close we were as a couple because he didn't want to make you jealous as his current girl. He was probably just hiding you from you because he knew that you didn't even compare. Okay, you seriously need to slow down and stop all of this nonsense. So, your name is Miranda and you're one of Brian's exes, right? Just why are you even reaching out to talk to me in the first place? Why? Well, there's not any particular reason, I guess. I just wanted to know about what kind of girl Brian got with after him and I broke up. He can really have a really interesting taste in women from time to time, so it's my job to make sure that he's making good choices. And you think that that's appropriate for you to do as his ex? I think most people don't do that to people they used to date. I don't remember you telling me what I should and shouldn't be doing, thank you. We might have been broken up, but we're still good friends, and there's nothing wrong with that. All I'm doing is being worried like any good friend would, and I can see that he's picked a very surprising girl to get married to. I thought he would have married someone beautiful, and I have to say that I'm just shocked. And just what is that supposed to mean? Well, I only mentioned because I think I left quite an impact on his taste from when we were dating. I just thought that he would have married someone strong-willed and clever. Someone special, you know. But I guess he just ended up with some totally basic chick. Funny how life works like that, right? Well, I guess that I'm sorry for not being the girl that you expected me to be, but you did just admit that Brian did marry me. So I might not know just how close you two were before, but all of that is in the past, and I hope that you realize all of that. Oh, wow, maybe you're a bit more impressive than I thought. It's almost cute. But I can tell just from this conversation that you're the type of woman who is always trying to solve your husband's problems for him, right? I really, really hate those kinds of girls. You need to be more kind to Brian, but let him spread out his wings on his own, you know? I don't need you telling me how I should be treating my husband, thank you very much. Well, fine. Then congrats on getting married or whatever. Save my number just in case you need a hand with anything in the future. For instance, if you two get into a fight, you can just come to me and I'll make Brian feel better afterwards. After all, I know him better than anyone. And that means that I know how to calm him down better than anyone, including you. Hey, Brian, are you there? I was just curious if you know a woman named Miranda. I think that maybe you two used to date each other.
Miranda? No, I'm sorry, Im, but I don't think I've ever dated a Miranda. Though now that I'm thinking about it, I do have an old friend named Miranda. But we never dated or anything. But what made you want to ask me this all of a sudden?
Well, I think this Miranda girl that you know actually just reached out and messaged me. And she introduced herself as your ex-girlfriend.
Wait, really? That Miranda sent you a message?
She said that she was your ex-girlfriend and she was worried about the kind of woman you were married to. And then she went on to say a bunch of other rude things as well. She seemed to really be concerned about how her ex was doing, and she kept talking about you as if she knew you really well. I don't know, I think she was trying to flex on me as your ex or something like that.
Wait just a second. So then, Miranda was really telling you that we used to date?
That's what I said, yes. But now you're telling me that you two never dated, so I don't know what to believe. I don't like whatever is going on, and I just want the truth, so be straight with me, Brian.
Emily, I promise you that I'm just as confused as you are. Besides, I was telling the truth when I said that we never ever dated.
You mean it? You two were never a thing at all?
Oh, we were classmates together from middle school on, and even were in the same after-school clubs too. So we did hang out a lot and spend a lot of time together. Though she was always acting more like a fussy mother than she was a friend, you know. She was always trying to do things for me and take care of me.
So then, it sounds like you two were actually quite close then.
Oh, we were. And I will say that other classmates would tease us and say that we looked like a couple, but I'll swear to you that we did not date. I'm not even sure that she looked at me as a potential person to date. I always felt like she saw me as more her kid or something like that.
And you don't know any of other Mirandas from your past that might be lurking around?
As far as I know, that's the only Miranda that I've known. But we both ended up going to different colleges and didn't really keep in touch after that. And ever since then, I don't think I've ever met another Miranda. But I guess she was trying to use our old friendship to try and get something out of you.
But why would she come to me with this when I don't even know who she is? I mean, I've never even seen a picture of this woman. I'll be honest, I was kinda scared.
I'm sorry, Emily. I wasn't trying to make light of this. It's just a bad joke.
Well, I hope you don't mind me asking, but I have to know for myself. You promised me that you and Miranda aren't talking at all right now? And you haven't seen her since finishing high school.
I swear to you, since we both left for college, I haven't spoken to Miranda at all. Wait, that's not entirely true. There was one school reunion for middle school, where her and I were both there, but so were all of our other classmates, and there was so much happening that day that we didn't even really get to talk.
Well then, just why is she coming out of nowhere to bother me? I don't like it. It doesn't feel right.
I agree. It sounds like she's up to something, and I don't like it. I think you and I'll have to just be a little more careful for the time being.
Hello there, Emily. It's been a while since we've last talked, right? How are you? It's me, by the way, Brian's ex, Miranda. Hello, Miranda. Yes, it's been a while since you and I last spoke, hasn't it? May I ask why you're messaging me today? Well, I actually have a really big announcement I just have to tell you. I feel so sorry for you, but I'm overjoyed because Brian and I have gotten back together. And that means that he doesn't need you anymore, so you can just get lost. Excuse me? What are you talking about this time? I mean that I want you to divorce Brian from me right now. After that, him and I can go out and get married. So I'll give you until the end of the day to get all the paperwork done. Are you kidding me right now? Did you really just message me to tell me to leave my husband? And do you really think I buy that you two have gone back together? Can you just leave me alone? I don't have time for this nonsense. Nonsense? And just what makes you think that any of this is nonsense? I know that it's tough to accept, but it's the truth, and you need to face it. Because I am telling you the truth, Brian and I have really gotten back together. Although I always knew that he always still had feelings for me, so I'm not surprised at all. But it was him who came to me asking if we could get back together. Are you serious? You're telling me Brian searched you to be out with you? Well, I'm sure you noticed that this is the first time we talked in a while, right? The reason for that is because after we talked the last time, Brian reached out to me and asked if I'd like to meet up with him. So we went out to a bar, just the two of us, had some drinks, and Brian used the liquid courage to confess his feelings for me. But again, I always knew that he'd never given up on me, so I knew it was a matter of time before this happened. I seriously doubt that Brian would ever go and do something like that. And I have no idea when he would have the time to sneak off to a bar to talk to you. Well, of course you wouldn't know about any of this, would you? I mean, do you really think that a husband would just tell his wife that he's going to go out and grab drinks with an ex? So then you're telling me that Brian kept all of that a secret from me and did actually go out to meet you? Not only that, but even though he has a wife, he still confessed having feelings for you. Yes, I'm afraid that you've described it exactly well. I tried to turn him down at first, but I didn't want to be a homewrecker or anything like that. I told him that he had to let go of a beautiful girl like me and just focus on his wife instead. But then he told me that he didn't care what happened to you. So when I realized that he wasn't going to be changing his mind, I had no choice but to get back together with him. Oh please, don't try to make it sound like you were forced into doing this. And know that I have no intention of hanging Brian over to you and all. Well, you say that, but Brian has already made the decision for himself. So I'm so sorry to ruin your marriage, but it's what Brian wants, and I don't think you have the right to deny him that. I seriously can't believe what I'm hearing right now. Well, it doesn't matter whether or not you do, because it's the truth and we're back together now. You're just in the way, you know, so just get lost already. I just want you to know that Brian is here and is cracking up at all you're saying. What do you mean by that? I mean that Brian is laughing about you claiming that you and him got back together. His face is literally turning blue, he's laughing so much. Laughing at what? What are you even talking about? Brian is here with me right now. How can he be next to you? I'm sorry, but Brian is here with me, his wife. And we're actually on our honeymoon right now in Tahiti. What do you mean? I don't understand what's going on. It means that no matter how many times you tell me to leave Brian, it isn't going to happen. Anyways, we're going to be out of the country for a couple of weeks, so... So you two are really on your honeymoon right now. That's right, and Brian still hasn't stopped laughing at this business you just tried pulling. He remembered you well, but only as an old friend. Certainly not any kind of girlfriend. And the reason I knew you were lying about him meeting in a bar because he's sick after just getting a couple of drinks. Sure, we've had a few drinks here and there on vacation, but he would never drink to the point that he's saying things like what you said he did. Now, hold on just a second. This doesn't make any sense. How are you two going on your honeymoon when Brian has already taken me back? He's mine. He shouldn't be going on a honeymoon with you at all.
For the last time, Miranda, I'm not yours and we did not get back together. I don't know what fantasy world you've been living in, but you really need to wake up. But did you really think that I would ever want to get with a fussy woman like you? And some of the stuff you were saying was making me crack up so much that my stomach hurt. I mean, there was no way that you were being serious about that stuff, right?
How can you say something like that? I know that you're with your wife, so you have to be careful with what you say. But you confessed to me. You told me that you wanted to get together with me, and that's a fact.
Wait a second. What I told you was that I would always want to be your friend. You were the one who misconstrued that to mean that I wanted to date you.
You mean you just want to stay as friends?
But I don't get why you had to lie about you and I going out to get a drink. And yeah, I did reach out and invite you to a bar, but you left out the part where the rest of our middle school class was there. I invited everyone out to see if they'd want to catch up, but again, you totally warped what actually was happening.
No, this can't be happening.
And yeah, I had some drinks, but not many because I'm so weak. And because of that, I remember everything that happened that night. Though I will say that it was fun getting to hang out with everyone, and I was thinking about doing it more regularly. And yeah, we sat next to each other and talked, but I wasn't confessing my love to you.
But I could see the passion in your eyes. I could see all the memories we had come flooding back. That's when you knew that I was always the right girl for you. That's when you realized you were still madly in love with me.
No, not at all. How did you even get any of that out of what I was saying to you? I mean, we couldn't even get back together if I wanted to, because we were never even dating in the first place. I don't have any lingering feelings for you, because they were never there in the first place. We never, ever had any sort of romantic connection. So I got no idea what you've been talking about.
No, that can't be true. You're lying, because you're with your wife.
I'm not at all. Even at the get-together, you were trying to tell me what to do, how to eat, sit up straight. You were just acting like you used to, and all it did was get on my nerves.
But I was only doing all of that because we were dating, right? I mean, everyone in school said that we were like husband and a wife, remember?
That was just what dumb little kids say. I was never once under the impression that we were dating. I don't think I ever could date someone like you, to be honest.
But why not? I'm beautiful and loyal, and I'm always taking care of you.
That's just it. You think you're all those things, but I never saw what you were doing as helpful. I always thought that you were just being way too fussy. and I was prepared to maintain a friendship with you, but now I know that's going to be impossible. Now, as my wife explained to you, we're on our honeymoon and don't want any unnecessary distractions.
Don't think that you've beaten me yet, you ugly sow. I haven't even shown you what I can really do. I will make Brian mine, do you hear me? I know him better than anyone, and I will make him fall in love with me.
What are you even talking about this time, Miranda?
I mean that Brian said he was going to try and hang out with our old classmates. Well, I am going to be at every single one of those meetups, and I will steal your husband from you.
Well, yes, he did say that he was going to try and make everyone hang out more often, but those plans have fallen, though. I'm afraid that you won't have any more chances to go after Brian anymore.
What do you mean?
Well, the plans fell through because Brian knocked me up while on our honeymoon. I decided to stop drinking when I started feeling weird while we were there. And I took a test when we got back home and it was positive.
So you're pregnant with Brian's baby?
That's right, and we're both overjoyed. But Brian reached out to his classmate and told them that he wouldn't be going out drinking while I'm pregnant. But all of his friends were very, very understanding, and said that they can't wait till they can all hang out together another time.
But this isn't fair. Why do you get to start a family with Brian while I'm just here, single?
I don't know. That's probably something you should look inside yourself to find the answer to. Either do that or go talk to a therapist.
Ugh, I hate you. I never want to hear from you again. And I certainly never want to see you as long as I live.
Deal. That actually sounds great to me, actually. Anyways, on that note, have a nice life. After that, I never ever heard from Miranda again. Brian, on the other hand, would still get messages from her asking if he wanted to go out and grab drinks with her. But he always told her that he wanted to be by my side in case I needed anything and avoided it that way. Brian even told me that Miranda started reaching to the other classmates, asking if they wanted to go out for a drink together. I hear she's basically blacklisted from any get-togethers now. Brian insists that she's a good person deep down, but just has a lot of issue. Frankly, I'm surprised that his heart is big enough to keep defending her. Either way, I just hope that one day Miranda wakes up and realizes the error of her ways. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.